Hey folks, welcome to the channel. You're going to notice a little bit of difference in the audio, or you might, I don't know. My headphones went kaput this weekend. I recorded on Saturday and the volume just was terrible. And I just troubleshooted for a couple hours, and I couldn't come up with the proper settings in the system to get it to work. And Sunday I had other plans, so I couldn't get to it. So today I got onto a Zoom call and my headphone didn't work. So it's actually not the settings, it's my headphones went kaput. So I'm borrowing my grandson's, which actually belong to my son, who let him borrow them. Uh, so until I can get a replacement, I'll just have to borrow a pair in the house. So here I am, a couple days late, but that's okay. So today we are going to go into the Budget by Paycheck workbook and see the closeout of May. So let's grab our glasses and get right to it. And I've already recorded this once, so oh, look, cat hairs. So I'll have to refresh my memory on what I wanted to say. Now that I figured out what the problem was, I thought, well, in between meetings, I'm just going to quickly record this and get it published. So here I am. So we're closing out May. Things went as expected. I'm happy to report I was able to put quite a bit into my debt. I don't think it wasn't as much as I thought I might, but I got a couple extra purchases for the beach, which, as I've mentioned before, I'm not going to stop doing the things that are going to make me happy and the loved ones around me happy, if it's only going to be, $50 or $100. So I went ahead and did that. So here's the first week, which we've gone over. Here is the end of the pay period. So this is the paycheck that marks the last 2 weeks of May. I was able to put $750 into the debt, which is good. It wasn't quite as much. I was hoping around $8, but again, I did buy some extra things for the beach, for the grandkids. I got a skim board and a couple inflatable rafts that we can use both at the pool that's at the rental that we're staying at and the beach. And we have just regular boogie boards, but these looked kind of interesting, and I was thinking that it might be fun to have them in the pool as well. So I went ahead and got that. This month I did have the taxes that were due, but I had a sinking fund for that, so I was able to pull it out of the sinking funds, and it didn't really impact my payroll. And as a reminder, I share what I make because I work for a university, and when you work at a public place, your salary is readily available to anybody who wants to look it up. So typically if I think I was working in a private company, I might not share it, but I'm all about disclosure, and particularly as it relates to like equity. I have experienced and seen gender inequality as far as payroll goes in the tech industry. And so for me, I like to know, am I being paid as much as my counterparts, whether they're male or female, and hopefully also seeing that the females are being paid equally well as the males. So for me, it's not just about the fact that anybody can look at my payroll, but it's also about having that, when you have this mystery surrounding how much you make, and whether or not you're getting paid as much as your counterparts. I don't know why we have that mindset, but yeah. So there, that's why I share that, because number one, it's completely public knowledge, and also it helps others know whether or not in the IT industry, whether or not, hey, if that person's making that much money, what is it that they're doing differently than I am that I'm not making that. So I don't know. Off on a tangent again. Um, Normal expenses this month, other than that. Um, Things kind of went along as expected. My healthcare, it keeps going over the amount. I just need to figure out how to adjust this because it does fluctuate from month to month. Same thing with the pet care. It does fluctuate a little bit, particularly if I go get their, have to take them to the vet or whatever. Personal care, I didn't actually put something down, but that was, can't remember what I got myself. It was something. I don't remember now. I might be able to see it in here when we look at the breakdown. Didn't have to buy gas. The miscellaneous is just typically it's going to be the bank fees from my debt, which, will be gone in a month or two, which will be nice. And then gifting. I didn't use all of the amount that I thought I was going to. And Rachel and I went and had our toenails done, and that was a lot of fun. I'd put my feet up here so you could see what it looked like, but that would just be embarrassing. And so I'm not going to do that. But they're nice and dark blue with sparkles on it. My daughter got sort of a very pale coral, but it's I don't know what to call it, like a pearlescent, where they did a little technique on it where it kind of looks like a seashell. So she says she looks like a mermaid. I look like the beach, so which is all fine. And then we did spend some stuff on the household, and that had to do with the boogie board stuff that I got the boys. I put in household because it's kind of a household. I didn't think to put it in the travel because we will probably use those. We have a blow up pool that is currently a work in progress out on the deck. I just have to finish cleaning it and get it blown up. But we'll have that done, and they can use those things that I bought for the beach in the pool. So with respect to my sinking funds, I have cash, and then I also have what's in the savings account. And I had to adjust it because something went sideways in my, I think I mentioned this in the last video. I don't know what I did wrong, but I've adjusted it, and everything is matches what's actually available. So I've fully funded a number of these things, and in the next month I'll be funding some of the other sinking funds, which will be awesome. I have fully funded the boarding, and I paid off the property taxes. This is the end of the month where I just made a few of the normal payments that were coming out. Again, I keep having more healthcare stuff, which I still just need to let it run out and get a better handle over what I'm going to be spending per month. Here is the U.S. Bank, and this is where I bought those items for my grandsons. Pardon me. And but in the end, I am lower than when I started, which is excellent. I'm so close, guys, so close. This is my sinking funds. Those are those two sinking funds that are here, that are noted here, 1057. This is my U.S. Bank here, and that's how much I paid this month. I'm happy to report that my retirement accounts are actually not trending down right now. They're trending up, which they should be anyway because I'm contributing to them every month, but they're not just losing so much money. They're still losing money, but not in the way that they were here. I'm actually back up to roughly where I was in January with respect to my retirement funds, which is good to hear. Everything looks pretty good. I did go over on a couple of items, and they're the ones that I go over pretty much every month: healthcare and pet care. I just need, again, let some time pass and sort of try and figure out how those are going to actually need to be applied. Personal's usually pretty close. but it just always varies based on what I'm doing. So everything went well. I had only anticipated putting in 900. I ended up putting in 1400, which was excellent. Everything else looks pretty good. And I think just because everything was under what I expected, 40, uh, let's see, 40, well, I look at this and I think, what? Oh, it's the inflow that's the difference here. Yeah, it's the money that Rachel um, gave me. And she actually gave me money for 2 months of expenses. And she usually gives me $300 per month for household utilities, roughly. Um, so she just had the money and she went ahead and gave me 2 months worth, which was great. And that actually went into the debt. And I don't really have anything else to report on that part. I did key in what I did for the yearly spending overview. And this is where I'm going to start tracking some of these things that I know I do go up and down on every month and try and get a better handle on what I'm spending. But again, it's like, 230 here, 360 here. It just depends on what's happening in the month. Like next month, I've got to go to the podiatrist again. I think her copay is like $40 or $50, which will be fine. But I'm not going to continue with any physical therapy, even though it helped a little bit. I just think that there's something wrong with my foot that physical therapy and strengthening is not going to help, or at least not anymore, because it reached a point where it had reduced pain, but it didn't ever fully get rid of it. So I have no intention of going back to physical therapy unless I have surgery or something. Everything else is looking pretty good. Again, I will use this as the months progress to try and really narrow down what my expenses are so I can get when I forecast how much I'm going to spend on the month, it's a little bit more realistic to what's actually going to happen. I am not going to go over June today because I'm limited on time. I just wanted to put this out, let you guys know the update, and that I was able to put some extra money into that debt, and we are getting really close to finishing that off. And well, when I say we, I mean me. But it's with your encouragement, it's with the understanding that I'm sharing this to help encourage myself. Even though my kids are doing great encouraging me, they're also encouraging me to do other things as far as my health goes, to improve myself. I'm going to do those hikes and those kayak trips because of their encouragement to get out and be more active, which will help my overall health. So even though I have encouragement from my family, this is my method to be, I guess, accountable, is having to come in and, tell when I was talking back in April when I was just being really spendy, that did kind of check me. It checked me, and here I am in May, and I did a good job. I'm going to pat myself on the back, and I'm going to thank you guys for listening to me get through this. And I'm super excited about June. I'll talk about that when I am able to record the June setup. I think I've mentioned this before, just lots of happening in June. It's just going to be kind of a fun month. So any case, the next recording will be the June setup, which is a little bit late. I know it's already June 2nd, but these things happen. So I will talk to you then.